Hey guys, just a quick. Well, it's not, I got a couple of comments the other day when I said it was a quick video. So let's just say this is a hot take. It's a quick take after the Springboks win over Georgia, 55-10 in Mbombela. A good win for the Springboks. 55-10 should never be scoffed at, and it's going to feel a bit strange to, I suppose, criticize away when the team wins 9 tries to 1. 55-10 is a very good scoreline against Georgia. It's their best win against Georgia in the 3 times they've met them, and it's normally been like 40-14 is more or less the scoreline. And Georgia has that habit of making you look bad. They're a very physical team. They're a very demanding team. As we saw tonight, they contest everything. They're everywhere. They meet you in the tackles. They're a good team. So it's a good win for the Springboks. So, with that, let's take a couple of talking points. I made a few things here. Obviously, 9 tries to 1. That's an exceptional performance in terms of just defensively keeping them out. They won't be happy with that first try, which came again at the end of a rolling maul. They caught the Boks a bit there. The Boks are definitely, after that Italy try and this try, are definitely going to have to do a bit of work about the rolling maul, but they will. They know these challenges are coming. They know where they have to improve. They know there was a bunch of youngsters as well on the field and a bunch of, sort of a mix and match team there. So they'll know that there's work to be done. But that's a good thing. To do work after you win by 50 points is never a bad thing. Okay, so let's start with what was good. Let's start with what was good about the performance. I think, first of all, the debutants all did pretty well. The 3 front row players, you saw Neethling Fischer, what it meant to him in the build-up. The tears streaming down his face, and very glad for Neethling. He's really been a guy who's wanted to become a Springbok for a long time. Bowen Venter scored with his first touch of the ball. Basically, Boks had gone very close to the line and he dived over. And then Magnus van der Merwe, who 2 tries off the back of rolling mauls, a hooker speciality, but still 2 tries on debut. And it was a night for the van der Merwes. 4 tries between him and Edwell, his namesake, and certainly a great night for the debutants. They put in a pretty decent scrumming performance. Georgia are one of the better scrums in the competition. They love scrumming, in the competition. In Test rugby, we know that they pride themselves on scrumming, and those youngsters did pretty well in that, I thought. Maybe one scrum that didn't go so well, or 1 or 2 scrums. When Thomas du Toit was on, there was 1 scrum, and there was another scrum late in the game. But mostly, for the most part, a pretty decent performance by what is probably the 3rd or 4th choice Springbok front row. So I'm very happy with that. Nothing to complain about there at all.
Another good feed from Van der Merwe. Nortje takes it, and this time the Springboks set that rolling maul. The Georgians running out of numbers. Debut try for Magnus van der Merwe.
Rolling maul again, they shear off around the back where the loose forwards normally defend, and that's where they get the numbers, exploiting that space away from the tight 5. Great response, a rolling maul from the Springboks.
Where things were bad was at the breakdown. The breakdown was a mess. Georgia flooded that. I thought Matthew Carley had a good game. He kept everything in check, but the Boks were sloppy. They didn't protect ball at times. They had so much ball to work with that it was, I suppose, it always feels weird criticizing when they win like this, because they had so much ball, and they won't get so much ball in other test matches this year. This is probably the most ball they'll get in a lot of time. I mean, they overshadowed all the stats, double the running meters, double the carries, double the passes, double the post-contact meters of Georgia. Dominated every single stat. And then there were the handling errors. Because they were getting so much ball and they were trying to run from everywhere, there was a lot of handling errors. Now, that's to be expected. We've seen this. I don't think it's any cause for concern. I think it's part of the thing of having so much ball that you try and do things with it. And at times there becomes mistakes. There was a switch from Sasha to Cobus Visa that could have led to a try. There was a couple. They probably left about 6 or 7 tries out there still. So they'll have a lot to work on, but that's a good thing for this team at the moment, because there are bigger challenges coming, there are bigger games coming, and they'll know that. And at this time last year, we also thought the same. We thought that there was a lot of work to still be done before they met the All Blacks. And by the time they met the All Black Challenge, they were ready. And they were good enough to win those games. So I'm not worried about it. I think it'll be something that will be addressed in a team meeting. But it certainly is something that on the night, there were far too many handling errors. I think there was 22, 23 turnovers from the Springboks. You can't do that against a team like the All Blacks or Ireland or France. But then again, you're not going to have as much ball against the All Blacks or Ireland and France. So you've got to do better with it. So the Boks could have been a bit more clinical. As I say, it sounds like a weird criticism when you win by 50 points. But when you've got so much ball, you expect them to do a little bit more with it as well. I thought they controlled the game very well. Georgia are the type of team that makes you look bad. They in your face the whole time, and they're physical, and they're very different to a lot of the opposition that the Springboks will face. Not so much skillful in the attack, but more physical. And I thought the Boks handled that pretty well.
Carlos watshe iseyiyo xa injalo fanda merva etsetet phaa kwale bhola Sasha Feinberg ngomezulu thelekisa uvise embindini webala Williams jikela uRuan Ortje Peter Steph to Toy Grant Williams Sasha Feinberg ngomezulu Moody aphelele fasi ekwe phansi ufasi isaphilile le bhola yamabhokobhoko Grant Williams wayikhulula Debutants Ruan Ortje yana Bomoyi yanendezwa phakathi Moody uyayibona Muti, uyayibona ikalika. Muti, uyayazi ikalika.
Amandla kaKenan Moody. Ayothuza nje esiqwalileyo Ruan Ortje. Athi ufasi Kenan Moody bukhona ngaphakathi ukuthembile. Naba bangaphi abafana useJoja wena amandla akho azakwazi ukuwelisa ngapha ekalika.
There were some beautiful tries, really some beautiful tries. But they left a couple on the table as well. So when I say there's some beautiful tries, some of them, they looked like there might have been a forward pass that was missed. And if there was, so be it. That's for the officials to do. But I'm thinking specifically of Grant Williams' effect, especially in that Kenan Moody try. He made the initial break and then it went through a couple of hands. Ruan Ortje was everywhere. Apalele Fassi handled the ball, and eventually Kenan Moody carried 3 guys over the line. What a try. One of the best tries I've seen in a Springbok jersey for Kenan, and a stunning try for the Springboks. Grant was also involved in Curtly Arendse's try as well, where Erkje Snyman had the break, and the offload king, the guy who made the most offloads in the URC, got the perfect offload to Grant Williams, and his speed and then the switch with Curtly Arendse led to another beautiful try. And to be very honest, if Grant Williams isn't our best scrum half at the moment, if he's not number 1 in the queue, then the argument is wrong, because he is certainly, that backline fires every single time he gets the ball. He's dangerous. He's playing in such confidence at the moment that he is, to me, our number 1 scrum half.
Nortje crashes it up. Snyman stopped in his tracks, goes corkscrewing through, looks for the offload to Williams. Grant Williams hits the switch to Curtly Arendse. Curtly Arendse cuts them open again. Yet another try for the explosive wing.
Outstanding from the Springboks, work rate. Relentless in the pressure putting on to the players. A complimentary line from Curtly Arendse, understanding from the players. Seamless. Grant Williams cross goes across the field.
But it's this offload from Erkje Snyman to Grant Williams. And then Williams seizing up all the opportunities and gives it to his big mate Curtly Arendse to go over.
Who's our number 1 fly-off at the moment? Well, that's an interesting debate, because on a night where you would have thought that Grant sort of dominated and set up some great tries, the man next to him, Sasha Feinberg Ngomazulu, probably didn't have the best game of his life. I think there's a caveat. He apparently injured his hip in training and had to undergo a fitness test to convince Rassie that he was ready to play, which he did. and so he played. But his kicking was, I think he missed 3 or 4 conversions. Now, just put it in perspective, if Manie Libbok missed 3 or 4 conversions, Twitter would be killing him at the moment. So I think we've got to put in a game like this, you can afford to miss 3 or 4 conversions because you're scoring 9 tries. But when it comes to bigger games, it's going to be a bigger thing. And you know, to me, Sasha is learning. He's still going to get there, and he's an immense talent. But probably not his best game. He was satisfactory in the rest of the game. He tried a bit, and often he tries a bit too much. But I'm not sure how much his hip influenced him in this. But certainly the kicking performance could have been better. He'll know that. The Boks will know that. And they'll take it on the chin. But at the moment, if you look at, to me, you know, Andre Pollard put in a good second half performance as well. The bomb squad there certainly picked up the game. They gave the performance, they gave the impetus that they didn't give at Loftus-Versfeld, which they were criticised for, and Rassie was quite critical about them and frustrated about. And they certainly did it better. A couple of lineouts again, Bongi's lineouts weren't great. But certainly against opposition like this, they did more than enough to win the game and more than enough to finish off in style. And Andre's try right at the end was a thing of beauty because it came from 70, 80 meters away. So yeah, hard to fault the bomb squad. And some of the tries that were scored in the second half were really nice. And you had the bomb squad involved in those tries. So they certainly upped the ante. I thought they did pretty well. Much better than Loftus-Versfeld there as well. But that try from Kurt the Orange and Erkie's offload, what a thing of beauty. And Grant is definitely our number 1 scrum half.
Dus elkeen in die groen en goud. Aan de grond, die voordeel is dan van Zuid-Afrika. Waggasmat met die bal gaan oppik. Thank you. Jouw collectie wat vanaf bij is, die ellende was ook daar. Pieter Steffer probeer om los te lukken, sy pot toe. Kort van die lijn. Williams van die bal gaan wegkry. In die hande van Epel van der Merwe. Sy derde toets, en hy het nog nie 'n toets gespeel, waarna hy nie 'n 3 gedruk het nie.
So maklik soos dit. Die Springbokke wat aanhou speel het. 'n Kragloopie van Pieter Stef de Tooi. En vandaag goeie visie van Grant Williams na Van der Merwe. Wat glimlag vir sy derde 3 soos hy dit reg genoem het nie.
Then let's look at some individual performances. Go through, we already spoke about the front row. Ruan Nokia, man of the match, my man of the match. I was sitting watching and I was saying to the people around me, he's everywhere. He doesn't make mistakes. He's the linking man when the backline's attacking. He's in there to make cleans when the forwards are on. And this was probably his best performance in the Springbok jersey for me. I thought he was brilliant tonight. I thought he's growing with every Springbok game he plays. And for me, a worthy man of the match. Evan Etzebeth put in a good shift, especially around the rucks, terrorised the poor Georgian scrum off a bit. Pieter Stef de Tooi, he did what Pieter Stef de Tooi does. He put in a workload performance that we know him to do, and that's the thing. He wasn't there to be flashy. He was there in the tramlines when he needed to be. He was there putting in the hard work, and Pieter Stef de Tooi is certainly a player that just gets on with the job and gives you 20-odd tackles a game, and he was really good for me. Kobus Wiese, well, to me, he was very physical, didn't maybe always get the touches, a couple of handling errors, but certainly did enough in that 8 position to say that he could be there for the future as well in that role. I still think he's probably better at the 4 lock, but this is first time he played 8 there for the Springboks, so you can't fault it. He did good things and he had a couple of handling errors, so I think he had a pretty satisfactory performance. We've spoken about Grant Williams, spoken about Sasha, Damien de Lende, the rock in the midfield. He's Damien de Lende, same as Pieter Stef de Tooi. You know what you're getting from him. I think Caden Moody was exceptional. I thought he really is growing in the 13th position, and that could be his long-term future. He could be the successor to the Kanye and Jesse Kriel later on. Ethan Hook is the other guy there, of course, but he can also play wing. Caden can also play wing. It's great for the Springboks to have these youngsters coming through. The wingers, Edward van der Merwe, 5 tries in 3 Springbok tests. What can you say? The guy just scores tries, and he's always got a smile on his face. He's always willing. He's always just so exuberant. And same with Kurt the Orange. This magic happens when he gets the ball. Apalele Fassi was good under the high ball. He was good when he came into the line. Didn't get as many chances as he probably would have liked, but certainly didn't have a bad game at all. So, yeah, all in all, there's not many players that would get bad marks in this game. And certainly off the bench, you would say the same. Yeah, certainly Faf made an impact when he came on. It was good to see him getting around the park a bit. Damon Willems has certainly scored a great try and made a great impact. And it's good to see him enjoying his rugby. He really looked like he wanted to get involved and was trying his step out again. We haven't seen that for a little while from him, so that was great to see as well. And Damon certainly made an impact for me.
Fagu Williams. Wazangenene Williams, Pollard. Williamson! Daniel Williamson. Akadinga ngaxesha elininzi. Umfana weStormers.
Scrum esihle samabhokobhoko sazinza. Grant Williams wayiqhatha phakathi ibhola enika ufana kaPollard. Yabona uPollard uqhumsa kwakhe pha. Nika ixesha uba uDamien Williams akwazi ungena ngekhope elihle. Wajika uThabasathe. Jika kwakhe ke wangena apho emva kwakhe. Kwanzima umwisa.
So where to now for the Springboks? Well, there are cuts coming. They're going to cut probably 9 players, and maybe not who you think it would be. I think we're going to see about probably on Tuesday a team announced, a team of 36 for the Australia tests. And Rossi's already indicated, and maybe it's worth playing the audio of what he said there about those cuts that are coming, that he's going to play a very different team to what we probably think he's going to play.
Yeah, one always plans in the beginning of the year for the perfect scenarios, but obviously things changes. You know, we would have loved, and yeah, I still feel a bit bad about that, but I'll sort it out. You know, we in this specific game we would have loved to give Renzo and Jaden and Jordan and Kieran Horn and those guys a run. You know, it was really part of the plans. But unfortunately, with a little bit of a hiccup and momentum in the first Italy test match, we had to rejig a little bit. So feel a bit bad that we couldn't stick to what we planned there. But after this, basically, as I say, some guys are going to help us till tomorrow. It's about 14 of those guys. And then some of them will now just have next week off. And then next Sunday, in a week's time, we'll get together. We'll probably have a group around 36 for the Rugby Championship. First 2 legs against Australia. So the guys who's left out of that, you know, will probably, some of them come back for the New Zealand tour. We're also managing a few of the older players' load where they might be involved in the first Australia matches and maybe playing only 1 or 2 All Black matches. We're trying to balance that out, that you take it from tier 2 teams to tier 1 teams to some of the best in the world, which will be New Zealand. So yeah, probably next week Tuesday we'll announce 36 players. Might be a number more, a number less. And then go and play those 2 Australian test matches, regroup a little bit, maybe bolster the squad a little bit with some guys who got rest or putting some young blood into that. Then we're obviously going to the great rugby rivalry on that side. And then we've got Argentina here, and I think the other one is Twickenham. Yeah. So that will be the focus for the next 6 weeks. But we won't actually build squad depth. They will make sure that we've got fresh teams in every single test match, fresh, in shape, informed teams.
That are coming, that he's going to play a very different team to what we probably think he's going to play. I think there's going to be a mix and match team. They'll be resting some of the older guys. So it won't be just the debutants that get cut. There'll be a couple of older players also missing from that squad. And I think we're going to see a very, very interesting, very exciting mix of players for the Australian game. But probably more on the younger side with a lot of the senior players coming back for the New Zealand game. And I think by the time we get to the New Zealand game, we'll have a very good sense of where every single player stands for the Springboks now. They certainly want to win that game at Eden Park. That's their first and probably their biggest game of the year. And that's going to be very interesting to see. So that, all in all, a great performance against Georgia. Nothing you can really fault from them. And certainly 55-10, lots to work on still, and which is also good. There's lots, so they don't get too comfortable, they don't get complacent, but I don't think Rossi would ever let them get complacent either. So those are my thoughts on the quick take after the game. Let me know what you think. Let me know with your comments. Who stood out for you? What did you think of Sasha's kicking? Is it a problem? Or do you think it'll get rectified very quickly? What did you think of the debutants? Who is your man of the match? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know as well. And what do you think the cuts are going to be going into this week? It's going to be very interesting as well. That's it. If you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button. There'll be more videos coming this week. There's more rugby coming up, so keep your eye out on this channel. And we'll be speaking on Monday to Nick Mallett again, to hear his thoughts of the test, and Franco Smith this week as well. And I'm going to try and get Tapa Henning on just to talk a bit about one or two incidents in the British and Irish Lions on as well. If Tapa's got time, I'm sure he'll come onto the channel as well. So keep an eye out for those. But for now, enjoy your weekend and smash that subscribe button. Cheers.